Okay.
If she joins us.
You know if she's going to?
Mm-mm.
Okay, we have not heard from her, so we're not sure.
Well, I do have her waiver, so we can continue without her unless you guys want to wait.
We're ready to proceed.
Okay. All right. If we're ready to proceed, then we can proceed. Miss Young Smith, how are you doing?
I'm well. Should
I'll put her in my seat here. Yeah. Let me move out of the
little do-si-do.
Hi there.
And I'll just fall over.
I'm Judge Curtis Parrish. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Miss Young, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let me call to order Lubbock County Court. We're sitting in probate matters, and we're here under cause number 2020-767-470. This is in the matter of the estate of Doris J. Attebury, and this is on an application for letters testamentary. Mr. Harris, is your applicant ready to proceed?
She's ready to proceed, Judge.
Thank you. Just want to make sure nope, I don't think we're going to have Ms. Daggers join us. So we'll just go ahead and proceed. Do you wish to be called Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Young Smith? How do you wish to be addressed?
It doesn't matter. You can just call me Dia.
Dia. Well, we kind of do things formally around here.
Then I'm Young Smith.
Okay. Young Smith. Even though we're doing this as a Zoom meeting, this is still a court hearing, and as such, I do need to place you under oath. If you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony that you're about to give in the matter before this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Harris, you may proceed.
All right, Judge, can you hear me okay?
I can, yes, sir.
Dia, will you state your name for the judge?
My name is Dia Young Smith.
Okay. And your mother, Doris J. Attebury, she passed away on August 18th, 2020. Is that correct?
That is true.
And that was in Lubbock County, Texas?
Yes, it was.
And at the time of her passing, she was 79 years old. Is that right?
She was.
Okay. And she resided at 2911 76th Street in Lubbock?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. To your knowledge, did your mother ever revoke her will?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. Did she ever have another child or adopt another child after she did the will?
She did not.
Okay. To your knowledge, at the time she executed that will, was she of sound mind and at least 18 years old?
She was.
Okay. Did she ever have a marriage dissolve after that will was made?
No.
Okay. And to your knowledge, is the state of Texas or any other charity a devisee under the will?
No.
Okay. And as of right now, it's believed that she owned property in excess of about $400,000, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you're here today because you believe that there's a necessity for an administration of her estate.
Yes.
Okay. So the will actually appointed her husband and your father, Edward Harold Atterbury, as the executor, correct?
Yeah, her husband and my stepfather.
Your stepfather, and he's passed on, is that right?
He has.
Okay. And the backup executor listed in the will was John Henry Young III, correct?
Yes.
And John Henry Young III is actually known as Holly Daggers now, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And she lives in New York City.
She does.
Okay. You've spoken with her and she signed a waiver and also renounced her right to be the executor, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And so you're here today asking the court to appoint you as the independent executor and to issue you the letters testamentary so that you can handle the estate. Is that right?
Yes.
Now you're not an incapacitated person, correct? You've never been deemed mentally ill?
Never.
Okay. You're not under a guardianship?
I am not.
Okay. And you're not a convicted felon, correct?
I am not.
Okay. Judge, I'd pass the witness.
I don't have any questions. I think everything's fairly straightforward. Let me check one thing here real quick. Based on the evidence and the testimony presented today, it is the order of the court that the last will and testament of Doris J. Attebury is now hereby admitted to probate. Further, the will names Edward Harold Attebury to serve as independent executor. However, based on testimony, he has predeceased and therefore unable to serve. The will then names John Henry Young III to serve as independent executor. However, the court has received and accepted a waiver and renunciation of rights to independent executor from Holly Daggers, formerly known as John Henry Young. Court will accept that in favor of our applicant, Dia Angeline Young Smith, who is now hereby appointed as independent executor and to serve without bond. And Mrs. Young Smith, the without bond part just means that you don't have to put up your own money as an insurance policy. And then independent means that you are now independent of the court. So from this day forward, you'll have no other business with the court except to provide an inventory, appraisement, and list of claims. Now, Mr. Harris is going to help you with that. It's a document that outlines what was in your mother's estate at the time of her passing. So, you know, you already have a good ballpark figure as to what's in the estate. But this is more of a, and I'm not going to, we're not asking for a detailed inventory. So don't want you to count like all the spoons in the drawer kind of an inventory, but it's an inventory that is what's the nature of her property? Is it real property, personal property, community property, or separate property? And Mr. Harris is going to help you with that. And what this is it is due to the court within the next 90 days or 3 months. So it's not something that you have to throw together tomorrow. It'll need to be done sometime before February the 16th, believe it or not, is 90 days from now. We'll be just past Valentine's Day whenever your inventory is due. So if it's Valentine's Day and you don't have your inventory in, you might want to like freak out a little bit. But no, continue to work with Mr. Harris. He will help you get this document together, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Now, there are some papers that you will need to sign that Mr. Harris has for you. One is called a proof of death and other facts. Now, this is your testimony. So we need a record of your testimony. And so the questions that he asked you are now presented to you in the form of statements. And so when you sign that, you're basically stating that those are true and correct. They will need to be notarized, and it will need to be, there we go. There she is.
Oh, she is here.
Hold on just a second. Is this Miss Daggers? Hello, is this Holly Daggers joining us?
Maybe.
Well, maybe.
Haunted house.
All right, we'll continue. The other document that you will need to sign is called an oath. In order to further qualify, you will need to sign an oath. And the oath just very simply states that you will well and truly perform the duties of independent executor, meaning that you will follow the terms of the will and that you will abide by the laws of Texas. And if that's your oath, you may sign that document also, again, in the presence of a notary, okay?
Yes, okay.
And other than that, we'll have no other business together. Now, Mr. Harris, I do have, let me check real quick. I do have your order.
Should have been e-filed this morning, Judge.
Yes, sir, I do have it. Everything looks really good. I'm going to go ahead and sign the order, get that submitted up to the clerk's office.
Thank you.
So that when the clerk receives both that proof of death and the oath, then she will issue you letters testamentary. And with that, you'll be able to do what you need to do to take care of your mother's estate. Okay?
Great, thank you.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
I do not.
There's just
No, I
lots
just-
of There's
I
lots
did-
of sounds going
Right,
on there.
right. I did this for my father's estate, so the proverbial not my first rodeo.
Yeah. When did your father pass?
15 years ago.
Wow. 15 years. Wow. That's, well, not too much has changed by law-wise, but make sure you do get that inventory in. That'll be, that'll be very important going forward, is to make sure we get that inventory done. Okay.
Okay.
We'll get it done.
And, I don't know. Let's see. Ms. Daggers, I don't know if you can hear me. Do you have any questions?
Is there?
Hello?
I'm gonna take that as a no.
Okay. We'll take it by your silence that that's no. Ms. Young, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, then we'll go ahead and be dismissed. If you do come across a question and you need some further explanation, make sure you let us know. We're here to help. If it's a legal question, I may have to refer you back to Mr. Harris, but other than that, we're here to help you if you need any help. Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. All right. If there's no other business of the court, then we're dismissed. Thank you.